Carol has worked as a business consultant for franchise owners over the last 15 years. With a diverse background in operations, she enjoys that no 2 days are the same in the franchise world. She explains this quote, "Coaching new owners to become successful business owners is a very rewarding job." Please help me welcome Carol as she shares with us Hold the Gooey. Carol.
Thank you, Ms. Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster. I'd like to talk today about communication style, and particularly my communication style. Mainly, I want to talk about direct communication in relation to indirect communication. What is a direct communicator? Someone who speaks their true intentions in their verbal message. 2, a person that expresses needs and desires explicitly. When a direct communicator wants or needs something, they'll come right out and say it, no filter. Direct communicators take other people's words at face value. We're not in the habit of analyzing the message for underlying meanings. To a direct speaker, an indirect verbal communicator is often considered evasive, untrustworthy, shady. While an indirect speaker will take a direct verbal communication, can be perceived as harsh or rude. My communication style is direct. Why would I want to go around the block to get the same loaf of bread I can get next door? As Sergeant Friday would say, just the facts, ma'am. Coming from the South, where they live life as slow as they talk, it's all about indirect communication. Everything comes with a story. In other words, gooey. The pros about having a direct communication style, with direct communication, there's less risk of misunderstanding. It is said that direct communication is the best approach and will help build stronger relationships, leads to healthy conversations, trusting relationships, and stronger collaboration. Obviously, this was written by a direct communicator. The cons, well, with indirect communications, there's more risk of misunderstanding, but less risk of offending the person that you're speaking with. For a direct communicator, we are perceived impatient and demanding. Well, yeah, we are. In the movie The League of Their Own, when Irene was asking Jimmy Dugan in a roundabout way if she could start bringing Stanley to the road trips, Jimmy gives her that real get to the point look. Irene is an indirect communicator, and we all know what kind of communicator Jimmy was. There's no crying in baseball. I want to give you some tips for direct people or direct communicators. Learn to soften your statements and ease into topics gradually. This is very difficult for those of us who just want to get to the point, like the bread next door. You may not see our internal foot tapping, but it is. Learn to listen between the lines. Indirect people often embed important information within a story. It's usually a lot of fluff. And these are things that direct people may miss if they're not paying attention. Remember walking all the way around the block to get to the loaf of bread next door? Avoid outright demands for answers, such as why? Why not? When can you have this? Are you on board with this or not? Be patient. If you don't get your answers on the spot, just remember, relationship-oriented people need to confer in private or privately before giving answers. Let me give you an example. For a manager who is a direct communicator, they might say to an employee, you've made a number of errors here. These are incorrect assumptions in this report. Go back, check your work, proofread. If a manager is an indirect communicator, they might kind of soften that up a little and say, it seems that you've made some mistakes and errors in this report, and readers may question your assumptions. So could you go back and check it over one more time before submitting the final? As I mentioned before, in direct communication, there's less risk of misunderstanding, but often there's a risk of surprising or offending the person you're speaking with. So I'd like to leave you with these final thoughts. Handling differences in communication requires understanding and flexibility. Understand what the Gooey is and how to work around it or work through it. Recognize your style and how it may affect others, and become more flexible in how you approach people with different styles. Thank you.
Excellent. Carol, gramercy.